There are two people on the video that were previous clients that are now up and serving, and the transformation that happens, it's just a very powerful thing for me. So what we do now is we get a group of people. It could be a single church. I pastor a small church in Chippewa. It's a church for people who don't like to go to church. We run around 150 people or so. In our community, after 5 years now, we've got an event scheduled March, April, May, June so far. And it's because we're partnering with other people who are passionate about this idea and believe that we can make a difference in our communities. So we get a location. This next one in March is at the Center for Arts, the Heidi Center for Arts in Chippewa Falls. It's an old Catholic auditorium, Catholic school auditorium that they use for musicals and such. And so we have that facility, and then we come in with our stuff, just like a foreign mission trip, and it transforms into a clinic. It's a metamorphosis, if you will. And then we use the social workers, county social work, county health department, the school social workers. We try to get the message out as many different ways as possible, usually for free. And then we allow those people to come to us. Then in advance, we've identified people from the local churches that are just willing to serve with dignity, respect, and care. So when a guest comes in, they receive them like a guest, not like an interruption or like a plague, if you will. So we have families sometimes, we have individuals that'll come in and they welcome the person, they'll look them in the eye. They're there, what we call as an advocate. And that person's there to walk our guests through the entire process. Make sure, if reading and writing's an issue, we'll help with that. If it's a language issue, we will help with that. And so we explain how the process works. We say, usually we can only meet one need today. These are the gifts that we have. These are the services that we have. Which is the most important thing that we could do for you today? And so we allow them to choose. If a person comes in late, if they just couldn't get there early enough, they weren't first in line. If dentistry is full, then at the door, if they say, this is all I need, I'll say, I am so sorry, but that department is full, and you are welcome to any of these other things, but I don't want to trick them, I don't want to bait and switch them, I don't want to disrespect them in any way. And so at the door, we say, I'm really sorry, I can put your name down on a list, and Lord willing, we'll do something in the future, but right now, I cannot help you. And so we try to believe that the Lord would even use that, and He has, so we can take those lists to the other professionals and say, could you please help me with this? It's a real person with a real need in this community. It's very tangible. And so if the Lord's in it, we have the event, He breathes into it, and your guests go through, and sometimes they'll go through it multiple times. Like if they get their first in line and there's not an abundance of people, you've got lots of haircutters or lots of whatever, they can come back in and re-register for another service. But if the services are overloaded, then again, we just thank them, and then we have a checkout area where we go through everything that they did receive and make sure they understand where to get the $4 prescriptions, who will be responsible for this or that. Do you understand about Badger Care? All of those kinds of things. And then, Lord willing, we'll have somebody from the churches there to pray with everyone who comes. And so there's this amazing spiritual experience where our people come up out of the pews and actually touch their neighbors, and you get a chance to talk about where you shop and where your kids go to school and the struggles that you're having, and then lives actually come alongside each other. It's personal. You get a chance to tell the story, you get to proclaim it, and you get to demonstrate the grace of Jesus in a very real and meaningful way. So I spoke here at the Rotary about a month ago, 6 weeks ago, and I know one of the eye doctors, Dr. Jill Dillon from Christian Life Fellowship, she comes all the way up to Chippewa or Halley to help her sister out at her church. And so she was the one initially who invited me down here to speak to the Rotary. At Rotary, I already know there are physicians that are interested and willing to help. They were very, very interested. The question is can we bring the churches together in a way that is meaningful, respectful, and powerful to meet these needs in your community. And is God calling you to be a part of that? That's the brief thing. So if you go to touchedtwiceunited.org, there's video, the video's up there. There's a lot of other media. There's newspaper articles. There's a manual you can download for free. It's very extensive. It'll tell you all about this. And so you can do a small event. You can do a large event. You could do it as a church, as an individual. You can do it as a community. You can do any and all kinds of different things like that. There's no wrong way. And it doesn't have to be called Touch Twice United. We have, let's see, Appleton was United We Serve. We have free-for-alls in the Chippewa Valley. We have Manifest in Ohio. We have Share the Hope in Illinois. And we just For Hope in Milwaukee just started. So it could be called anything you want. It doesn't matter to me. So, any questions at all? Sir?
You say you have no budget. Are you funded by free will offerings?
Well, we are, but the event is not. Like, what I try to do is challenge the pastors or the leaders to not look for money, but look for the people who have the resource. So if you need a facility, like if you need a gymnasium, go to the city. If you need publicity, go to the newspaper. If you need printing, like this stuff, go to a printer. If you need disposables for medicine, go to the pharmacist. If you need help, like currently in Wisconsin, the dentists and dentistry are hard to come by. The state has the disposables, but they have no manpower. They have no body. They'll give you the resources if we can provide the doctors. So there's a natural partnership. This is what the Lord seems to be breathing into. So in Massachusetts, I started, again, it's a 110,000 member city. I was there 7 years ago now. Whew. I didn't speak Spanish. It's almost 100% immigrants. So, I mean, the billboards are Spanish. Everybody, 99% of the people speak Spanish. In 4 one-day events, we were able to get enough bilingual young men to come partner with me that we got a baseline for a church. We started a church out of this. These young men didn't start a hip-hop church. They started a church for their parents. It's a really beautiful story. Those 4 one-day events outserved 3 full-time brick-and-mortar clinics. We saw more people did more good in 4 one-days than 3 fully funded clinics. Because people will not go there because they're treated so poorly and they do not trust them. The thing that you offer is sanctuary. Believe it or not, pastors and religious leaders are still deemed higher than politicians and physicians. There's more trust here. And so we have a leg up on everybody. Everybody. Again, if you ask me enough questions, I will not know the answer. I guarantee it. If you ask me about theology, I won't be able to answer you perfectly. But I can tell you this. Our God is still in control. Amen. And that no matter what you see happening in our culture, it is not the end of the world in that regard. That we and you have the answers for this community. And I believe our people are looking to you to lead where we have never had the opportunity to lead before. I'm not smart. I am not educated, well educated. I am not without flaw or defect. I know the living Lord, and He is the one who's at work, and all I get to do is walk behind. It's a beautiful thing, and I think God's given you a great opportunity for this community to make a real difference in His name. So.
Do you have a kid?